Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrea Stevens,
And I'm Jeanette Mejias, and we are Webs Women.
where exposure brings strength. I missed you.
I missed you. Well, hello. Good to be on the air. Um,
Yeah.
I think it was very important for us to take a pause because life is going at um, a speed that's extremely fast. So I kind of want us to talk about that. Um, we have a lot of moving parts.
Mhm.
And, I thought that we would just talk about some of the um, some of the studies that they have out now and some practices, best practices that some companies are offering to those who are in the workforce, who are employed through uh, companies. Of course, I'm not speaking, you know, to actual business owners, or although I could speak to that too, because business
Mhm.
owners have employees, right?
Right.
So, so let's talk, right? So last week we didn't air because life is really rapid. You're an entrepreneur, a mom, you have many roles, and as well as I do. And so it's important to, take a pause
Mhm.
and refuel so that we can be show up as our best selves. So I
Mhm.
thought what better way than to talk about um, you know, because everybody's feeling the same thing that we're feeling.
Mhm.
And talking about the importance of mental health and days,
Mhm.
important to avoid burnout and notice when you feel like there's a burnout.
Yeah. Self-care is super important. It is. I've
Yeah,
noticed it within myself for the past few weeks. I started a 10-minute meditation in the morning and a 10-minute yoga.
I am so proud of
Not
you.
gonna lie, my back hurts, but I I'm doing it. But it helps in the morning. And you know what? It's crazy because the you know, I think so it's too much. I mean, it's too much in the morning for me. So I started thinking, how am I going to just bring it down a notch?
Hmm.
And now that I do this every day, it's funny, but my puppy comes in and sits there quietly and soundly and listens to my whole meditation, watches me do my yoga. And I think this is peace for my puppy too. Look at what's happening here,
Yes,
right?
and we know that creator has a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah. He's a little crazy, crazy crater,
Yeah.
but he's sleeping now. But he doesn't do this in the morning. It's blah, crazy. So, but as soon as everybody gets fed, they go out and I go meditate.
That's
And
wonderful.
that's the first thing I've been doing now. And I'll tell you the difference that I see in myself. I also will tell you this. I've noticed I wasn't drinking enough water. I started with the headaches. And then I started thinking with the headaches, oh my gosh, what's happening? Is it stress? It was dehydration. And I
Wow.
wasn't paying attention. I was drinking coffee and tea and one bottle of water, and that was the end of it. And I noticed,
Mm.
okay, and that was days, right? So that self care is super important. It's super important in our everyday lives. It's super important in the work world. And now companies are recognizing that people are sitting at their desks working 12 hours a day and they never ate.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yes. Yes.
And they're wondering why they're sick. I don't understand. What do you got, COVID?
And you know
You
what?
know, and
And here's the thing where it makes it very stressful.
mhm,
Before COVID, when we went into a physical building, office, went in person for a meeting,
mhm,
and you're setting your calendar, it's not likely that I'm going to be at a meeting from 9:30 to 4 p.m. It's not likely that I'm going to be at four different meetings back to back if I was in the in-person
Mhm.
world, because you have to allot me time to travel to the space that's having that
Mhm.
meeting. And now,
Right.
because the meetings are in the computer screen, there is no traveling. All you got to do is
Right.
just leave your meeting,
Mhm.
rejoin another one. And
And
it's
eat on your
meeting
Zoom call,
and eat
right?
on your Zoom. If you need
Eating,
to,
you're drinking. Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
you have your water or your, like,
Mhm.
how about, like, make sure that you slot your hour to take that walk, breathe some fresh air,
Mhm.
have your lunch, meditate, read a book, whatever. And I think that's just not encouraged. And what I'm finding is, as I talk to um, friends who are working remote, they're burning out. They're
Mhm.
burning out. Their days are never ending. They're not
Mhm.
drawing the line in the sand. So instead of an 8-hour workday, it's become a 16-hour workday.
Mhm.
Um, it spills over. You're not spending time with your family. You're too tired to maybe go to the gym or go for the walk or whatever. It's just,
Mhm.
it's actually like a domino effect. It's like you're on this, if you don't notice and say, I got to pump the brakes because
Mhm.
things lately have been out of hand, you could really head into a really, like, dangerous place, right? So,
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Weren't you reading an article? They talked about some companies that are now recognizing it.
yes, they did. Yes.
Mhm.
In fact, uh, they aired it on Channel 12 News, and they were highlighting some companies that were acknowledging or have adopted what they call unlimited holidays. And what they found by doing that and offering it to their teams,
Mhm.
that people showed up better. They were rested, they were refueled, they recognized that they didn't want them to burn out.
And they didn't take
So,
advantage of those days because they didn't need
correct.
to. They know they're there. So you don't
Yes.
need to. Yeah. I think we talked about Flex Friday too. And
Yeah.
so when 2020, when the pandemic hit and the kids got out of school and they
Mm-hmm.
were all homeschooling, my son's school, they gave the option of Flex Friday. So as long as he got all of his work done between Monday and Thursday that was on the calendar, even there was a few things on Friday, but not many. If he wanted to do those during the week, he could have a Flex Friday and not have to go to school on Fridays.
That's great.
And they did that. They didn't do that this year, but they did it last year. And I think, there was, it helped, I think, with him because then he had a plan, right? He knew that if I get this work done, then I am done for the
And he
week.
has an incentive, like how nice it is to kind of kick off that extra day that leads into the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's no school obviously on the weekend. So he's got
Right.
that head start. And
Mm-hmm. But he had
I
a choice, right? He had a
right,
choice. And he
right.
made the choice a lot of the time. He made the choice to do those extra little bits that he had to do on Friday, or anything he didn't finish on Tuesday. He's like, you know what, Mom, I'm going to do it Friday morning, because that day he was burnt out on a Tuesday or whatever it
Yeah.
was. And so he says, I'm going to do it on Friday because he knew he was having a bad day. So
Okay.
he had that option, but that gave him, to me, that set him up
Mm-hmm.
right, for the
Mm-hmm.
future, right there. And
Yep.
knowing when he can postpone things and when he can't,
That's excellent.
So
I love that.
not this year, but last year, that's,
But
how it
I think
was.
it's important to, like, those practices to kind of continue, because we're really not completely back,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to the way things were. And I have to tell you, I found in this article, I never heard of this company, but it's called Evernote. So um, they offer yearly vacation stipend to their employees, and the staff are encouraged to take time off to relax and recharge. And it's certainly easy to do it with $1,000 budget to travel anywhere they like. So that's in addition to their compensation. And
Anyone looking for a job? Evernote,
yeah,
Evernote.
seriously, they're literally paying employees to take a vacation,
Yeah.
as part of their efforts to create an environment where all employees feel valued and empowered. So
Evernote. Everybody hear us?
Evernote, the company is
Evernote.
scored highest on Glassdoor for its work-life balance as a result, as well as rating highly for compensation and benefits. So
What does
anybody
the
got,
company do? What does that company do?
I have no idea.
Well, we're going to have to look that up.
Yeah, whoever's looking for some
Evernote.
Evernote. Yes. Maybe something to
Interesting.
do with outdoors because it mentioned something about work-life balance. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So, I just find that it's very important to have these conversations because this is the world we're in. Um, People are nonstop. People are not taking a break. Everybody
Right.
knows what self-care is.
Hmm.
People know that they should be, doing some practices or
Mm-hmm.
whatever to balance them. But the reality is not many follow those practices.
Well,
So
and you
like in
don't, you wait till you have a problem. And
well, right.
that's the hard part is that I mean, that's what I did.
I've heard this over and over again from many of my colleagues and people that, in my circle of influence. So many times I hear, you always make sure that your cell phone, the battery doesn't die. You always keep charging it. Why are you not charging yourself?
If it makes
Why do
sense.
you allow
Mm.
yourself to
Yeah.
be in that blinking, you know, like you're about
Yeah.
to shut off before you
Mm-hmm.
get to that point? So, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've been guilty of that. I'm not going to say that I have perfected I love that you got back into these practices. I know that they're helpful because I've done
I mean,
it.
not back into, let's be clear here. Not back into because
Oh,
I
you've
would rather
never
hit a
done it?
boxing bag. I don't even like yoga. Never liked yoga. Now, I love the
Oh,
stretching part. I can go with 10 minutes. I don't know if I'll work up to even 20. I don't know because if I'd rather move around
yeah.
hitting a bag. So I
Well,
never
if
really
somebody,
enjoyed yoga. But I'll tell you what, now that I'm starting this 10-minute yoga, I realize I am not as flexible as I used to be.
so
So
okay, well, that's
maybe I
good
need
because
more.
you're building up
But
to it. So do you use an
yeah,
app? Is there something that you can, what do you use? Is there a specific
I've been
app?
doing 10-minute yoga with Adrian because my college roommate, Melissa, said, I like her. I said, okay, if you like her, I'll try. So I did. And that was it. I do one of her little 10-minute workouts every single
Oh,
day.
okay. Who's Adrian?
Yeah.
Is that somebody you just
I don't know.
Google?
Yeah. If you put 10-minute yoga with Adrian, pops up.
Oh,
There's the plug for Adrian. I don't even know her, but there
okay.
she is.
But she's helping you each morning to kind of set the tone and the
Yeah.
intentionality in your day. I
Yeah.
have to say, I have been guilty of in and out of practices. I know these practices are so helpful,
Yeah.
and why I veer off, I will never know. I
Yeah.
think what happens with me, it's really depends on the season. I don't know if that happens to you too, Andrew. So I can go into a season where I'm all about the Zen and meditative practices and mindful eating and having my water and clean this and release, get rid of the brain fog, and I can go good. And then all of a sudden, I get hit. It's like a Titanic of everything just hits me all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do, I do not know how to assimilate or just say, okay, you can get to it. Just don't fall off of what you were doing. I immediately go into, I get up and just forget and put myself all the way as last, like from the last person to eat in the house to
Right.
make sure that, I mean, my kids are self-sufficient. They feed them, they make their own things and eat, but I don't eat until my I serve my mother. Once my mom is fed,
Mhm.
once she's situated, then I'm like, okay, let me grab a coffee or let me get a piece of fruit or let me blend a smoothie. Sometimes her and I, will share the
Mhm.
smoothie or the protein shake. But then, if I'm taking care of everyone else and I see that I'm behind already before you know it, I'm looking at the time. Well, there is no time to eat something.
Mhm.
I can only have a coffee because I got to be on this call. And then what happens is it's that vicious cycle. You
Mhm.
get looped into that nonsense. And
Mhm.
then you're like, oh my God, how is it like already 7:30? I haven't started dinner yet. The family hasn't been fed. I haven't even finished half of the things, that I was supposed to. And it's just nuts because there was a time where I had everything really organized and then it was like poof, like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over.
I don't think for me, I don't think it's a season. I think for me it's based on experiences and day to day. And like all of a sudden it's okay, I don't feel well. Why? And then I go
Right.
back to, okay, so today I didn't eat till 3 o'clock. I didn't even
That's
have
not good.
coffee. How about this?
Right.
I didn't even have a coffee till 3 o'clock today either. So I realized at 3 o'clock that I needed my breakfast.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I had water or tea, and that was all, and that was it. But I
Yeah.
didn't have, I mean, normally I'll have my a cup of coffee. I didn't even have that. And then I realized, what is going on? I'm starving. Oh my gosh, I didn't even eat. I didn't even grab my cup of
Because
coffee.
like
And it's
you're
three
like
o'clock.
you're just going, going, going. So
It's something comes up, right? So it's always like situational for me.
yep.
It's not season, it's situational. So I mean, that's what happens with me, but I'm sure other people, they have different things
Yeah.
that pop
And I
up
mean for
or
me it's like I'm in a very
maybe,
different, like to me I say season because like I feel like my work, like it's off the charts. Like this is a very heavy, heavy, heavy workload season for
right.
us in the
And that
spring.
that impacts. Yeah.
And it impacts, it just changes everything. And it's like too many things happening at the same time. And it's like, oh my God. And even to the point where I was even looking at my calendar, and I don't know if you've fallen into this too. I'm like, I think I need to take like, a me day. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, that ain't happening this week. I got too much going on. I have appointments I can't get out of, or I have something that I'm committed
Hmm.
to that I can't get out of. Or, I may have a gap in time, but it's not enough. I mean, it's a little bit, so I can, of course, do a little something tomorrow to
Hmm.
refresh and refuel because I do notice that if I don't do that, that's when the anxiety starts to show up and everything else.
Hmm.
So I think,
I'll tell you, I took an electronic break. So for
oh,
two
I
days,
have too.
Saturday and a Sunday, I've done that on Saturday and Sunday. Now it wasn't fully electronic break because I had to, I was writing for my book, but I still did not go on social media. I didn't
Yeah.
check emails. I didn't even make a phone call. I talked to no one. I didn't even talk. I didn't even answer text messages. So I gave my
Yes,
phone to
I
my
know,
son to
Andrea.
use.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I gave my phone to my son and I was like, call whoever you want. Have a good day.
Yeah,
So,
I find that for me, it's like hasn't usually like I have a routine, like even with social media routine, if you would.
mhm.
And I have so many things happening the past few days, and I'm like, whatever, I'll get there when I get there. Um,
Yeah.
but
But I think everyone needs, you know, a mental health day, right?
absolutely.
Whatever you do, it
You
doesn't matter if you
gotta
meditate, it doesn't matter what you do.
let me tell you, if I didn't have all these things going on, I most certainly would be you know, driving to the tiki bar and having an afternoon of cocktails and free music and sitting there, soaking up vitamin D. But
Mhm.
at some point, I
Yes.
mean, summer's not here yet. So at some point, I I'm not going to wait for a Friday. I'm gonna take like usually Martell's, the tiki bar. They have some really they kick off on Wednesdays in the afternoon. But I think
Sheesh.
one Wednesday in the afternoon, I think I will and bring my mom along too. Let her
Uh-huh.
hear the music, feel feel the sun and all of that. And just sometimes you just have to disconnect and get into a different environment. And that sometimes is
Hmm.
just enough.
And sometimes just in the middle of the day. That's what I did today. I had a speaking engagement that I was on Clubhouse today at noon, and I said, I'm doing this outside. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to sit nice in the chair, sit in the sun, and
Yes.
I'm going to conduct this call. I'm not on video in Clubhouse. So I was like, whatever. I'm just going to do that. So here I go. I sit outside. I sat down. I will tell you for not even 2 minutes. And then I'm looking at, and I got to go pick those weeds. So here I am
Oh
talking
my
now. So here
God.
I am now in the sun with my phone in my hand, doing, talking and picking weeds at the same
I
time. I
can't.
thought, oh my gosh, I can't sit still. I don't even know how. And I'm outside in the sun. What is wrong with me?
Well, at least you didn't get in the hot tub and have another little
A fall,
sliding
a
episode.
little, that wasn't a slide. That was a feet up in the air.
Slam
Yeah, that
dunk
was
episode. How
yeah,
are you feeling,
it's a
by the way?
crash.
How is your hand, your arm?
It hurts. I'm not doing like rehab enough. So every time I go to do something that's strenuous, it now all of a sudden I'm getting the pulls again. So I'm trying
Oh
to
my God.
yeah, I'm trying to rehab it a little bit, but all my body weight landed on that fat part of your hand
Mm.
and my wrist, so yeah. And let me tell you, I bounced right up like a champ, but this doesn't hurts really. I mean, I'm proud I didn't break anything. I'm really
Thank
happy that I have
God. I
some
thank
strong
God you
bones,
were okay. I mean, that's the most important
but
thing. Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, yeah. Not just that, like a week later, Crater pulled me off the porch chasing a deer and I flew off the porch. I don't even know how I made it down the 4 steps. Just, I landed in the front yard on my feet.
Was that
But
the deer that was like staring him down?
yes, yes. Well, the deer didn't stare him down until he moved over to the bushes. So he was watching him and I thought the deer was gone, but it was next to the bushes. They were staring at each other.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let me
And
tell
then I
you.
realized, well, listen, when I landed though, I realized, oh my gosh, I I sprained my ankle on the other side that I fell, the opposite side. I sprained my ankle
My God.
and
I
my
hope
hips, like my
that
hip. I didn't know what I did to my hip. And I was like, this is just
listen,
not.
I do not want to see you in no body cast the next time I come up over to your hood.
Let me tell you.
Oh my
No, I'm a little
goodness.
more careful these days.
Good, good.
I've never fell so much in my life as I did in the
You know,
past
I
two
went through a
weeks.
period in my life, I swear, I fell all the time. I could just trip on my own 2 feet. And I always was falling either on my knees, on my hip.
Oh my.
And I said, "Bill, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, why do I fall so much?" I'm like already predicting that this is going to be my future when I'm in my, God forbid, 80s. I'm going to have to get some equipment to make sure I don't fall. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
no, I think, you know what? I mean, now I'm more alert in my surroundings. I'm
yeah,
watching what's going on. So,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Good. Oh,
So,
excuse me.
yeah. Well, yeah. So health and sleep. You need some
Health and
sleep. I
sleep. I
need
need
some
sleep. I
sleep.
need caffeine. I need all kinds
I
of
need,
things.
I know,
But
I
I'm
know.
glad that we got to talk about this because, I'm just finding that, you know, we have to always kind of bring this up every now and again because
Yeah.
it's so easy to get sucked in this vacuum
Hmm.
and put
Yeah.
all those things on the back burner, whether it's, you know, checking yourself, doing those, getting to the, your mammograms, your colonoscopies for those who are 50 and over. I know I'm due for mine the next couple of weeks. It's stuff that we don't want to do, but it's so
Hmm.
important because,
Mhm. And
you know,
the day to day is important.
the day to day,
I mean,
absolutely.
sheesh. I
Day to
found that out
day.
the hard way, but you do. You find out the hard way and you don't want that to happen.
Right.
So
That's
when
right.
you feel yourself with a little bit of frustration, know that it's going to get worse.
That's right. And you got to do something to just,
Yeah.
get yourself out of that. So,
Yeah.
as always, it's been so awesome to hang out and chat with you.
Hmm.
And I can't wait until we chat later this week. We're going to have a bonus, hopefully, a bonus episode. That's the plan. So we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Um, and just want to thank our listeners. And remember, everyone, we are Webs Women.
Where exposure brings strength.
See you next time, Cheeky.
Bye.
Bye.